But we do kind of belong to an exclusive club, whether it's narcissistic abuse or complex PTSD, whether the narcissistic abuse came from your family unit or it came from a partner. You can't talk to people who've not been through it about this, because they will tell you that you're lying. If they're rude enough and bold enough, they'll tell you straight to your face, you've got this wrong and you're lying. I had people do that. Or they told me, you're in this relationship because you're a masochist and you enjoy it. You get something out of the drama of this. It's your. They basically re-victimized me and said, it's your fault. You're doing this. That happened twice with two separate relationships. We can't talk to other people. You either got to talk to. You can't even talk to counsellors and psychotherapists about this. You can talk to counsellors and psychotherapists and coaches about this who specialise in narcissistic abuse and who have been broken by a narcissist. Otherwise, there's no point. They will tell you it doesn't exist, or that it's not important, even worse that it's not important, and they'll make you swim in a soup of moral relativism where you don't know up from down and you don't know right from wrong anymore, and it effectively re-traumatises you. People then live the rest of their life, or can live the rest of their lives as empty shells. They become very, very bitter. They just age and live shit lives where they're no longer thriving, they're just surviving, and they're not having a good time. If somebody corrupts the core of your being and your sense of reality, if somebody causes you to believe, look, love isn't real, humans aren't compassionate and caring, they're predatory monsters who will take your love and leverage that love against you to torture you, even unto death. Now, for people who've not been in narcissistically abusive relationships, don't know what complex PTSD is, they'll say, that's overly dramatic. Nobody's getting tortured, you're not being tortured to death. Well, shut the fuck up, you don't know what you're talking about. Unless you've been through it, you do not know what it is, and you cannot speak. This is not your terrain, you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be watching this video, you're not welcome here. But if you have been through it, and I say to you, it's like being tortured, and they will leverage your love against you and torture you until you are totally destroyed. Your reputation, your money, your sense of self, your will to live. The Malay use the word semangat. Your whole ability to drive, spirit, move forward. That's what semangat is in Malay. They break that. They want that. They drink that. That's what is tasty for them to do. For people who've not been through that, they'll tell you that couldn't possibly exist. See, we know serial killers exist, because serial killers is in the mainstream media, it's in modern culture. We know that there are a very small percentage of the human population out there that just something goes wrong and they need to kill people. They just want to kill people, it gives them a buzz. We know that there are rapists, robbers, credit card fraudsters, gangsters and drug dealers out there. But what we don't know is, or it's hard for us to accept, is this very commonplace, everyday evil. There's no legal sanctions for this. You can't place a legal sanction against somebody for making you feel bad. You can't place a legal sanction against somebody for breaking your heart. There is no such crime as breaking another person's heart or messing with their head, even onto the point of like ripping them off. Because if you're made to do it willingly, and it's within the legal paradigms, and it's the assumption is, well, you were a conscious adult and you willingly, of your own sovereign, independent thought, made the choice to give this person that car, that house, this money, whatever or that time, that emotion, whatever the resources are we're talking about, you got nothing. There's no legal fallback position. The law can't help you. It's like an invisible abuse that nobody outside of the narcissistic abuse or complex PTSD community even wants to acknowledge, because it's, and I don't blame them, it's horrifying, it's a horrible idea that the postman, you know, the waitress at work, somebody that you speak to, like you don't know them, but you speak to them every day and they seem really charming and friendly, is behind the scenes working a plot, a conspiracy against certain targets that they have, that they take time out of their day to decide strategies to use against that person, to break their will, to confuse their sense of reality, to deliberately target their self-esteem and their self-image, to psychologically and emotionally break them down, to inflict their will, the narcissist's will, the predator's will, onto that target and onto that prey. Nobody wants to deal with that. That's a horrible idea.